Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and today we have a new unit for the character I did not expect, Annerose, Dedicated Sword. Now with this unit, of course, it is on the regular character pool, so it is definitely not worth for pulling that banner. I'm just going to go ahead and put that as a little disclaimer right away. Even though these two banners look very similar, they are very much so different because essentially after this banner expires, I usually explain this every time, she will be able to be pulled from any other banner after these 11 days, so just that's something to keep in mind as well. And you can always check that by going to the characters and then scrolling at the way bottom, and oh look, there she is under locked characters. That means she's part of the regular character pool, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about pulling her until after the banner and choosing either event or Shadow Festival. Speaking of Shadow Festival, there has been rumors about a Shadow Festival Gamma unit, Demon Gamma, so that is a potential for the Shadow Festival unit there. People are speculating that it may be a blue unit for, and we don't know, I'm not sure if it's healer or attacker. Now these are just rumors, of course. I don't know if the legitimacy for it or not, but I mean, I have seen maybe some like screenshots or whatever. But I'm not going to dive too much into that. This video is about Dedicated Sword and Annerose, so we're going to be hopping straight into that and then comparing her to other yellow tanks, since there seems to be quite a few yellow tanks, with Iris already being one of them. So they decided to do two yellow tanks for this, like pretty much back to back. So here's the max stats. We have power 2 healing boost, we have healing boost to overheal, and then we have the grouping with human and Volchetta. We're gonna, oh, no, we don't want to open that. We want to go to this art. It's just Annerose in the forest. Not bad, not bad. Probably could be better. But either way, the way the sun is gleaming on her armor and sword, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's go to the skills right away, but go back to initial here. So the idea of the ideal is the hidden technique, and what that's going to do is inflict dark on all enemies for 7 seconds, raise the damage inflicted for all allies except self by 20% for 20 seconds, that's a considerable amount of time there, recovers own HP by 100% of the attack. So right off the bat, something sticks out to me. It's dark, so it's inflicting the status effect of dark, and usually dark isn't really a good idea for status effects unless you're pairing it with some sort of, unless it's like feeding into like a specific type of build, and that may be what this character is probably trying to do here. I did look ahead, and I did see some evasion type abilities, so I think that might feed into each other and synergize very well with being able to put dark on all enemies. Of course, this is a, you get your standard heal off as well, so that's always good for a tank. And then also being able to buff the team on top of that. So you're debuffing the enemies, you're buffing the team, and you're recovering HP. So honestly, that is a skill that is pretty, pretty solid. The only thing that is lacking is any sort of damage. So there's no damage with this one. Now when this is awakened, we go from 20% to 40% and 3 more seconds on dark, and that's actually a very huge jump. Not to mention when it's awakened, you further recover SP by 100 if it's yellow. Yellow elemental, so this is huge to get awakened because there is a significant jump in damage inflicted, 3 more seconds on the dark, and you're recovering SP by 100 if it's yellow. That is tremendously good. When it's awakened. Next skill we have Bring It On. Looks like a provoke skill. Those are always nice. I always love those when it's on a tank. So this one's Bring It On. It inflicts provoke on all enemies for 15 seconds, and 15 seconds is a very reasonable amount of time because that is quite a lot. Further lowers attack by 20% by 15 seconds. Which is good because essentially you're bringing all the smoke to you and then covering yourself by lowering their attack, so it's not going to hurt and kill you as fast. And then you're also raising evasion by 20% for 10 seconds, and that is good to know. When this is awakened, you have a bump up to, they're doing 10% less on attack, and you're doing 10% more on evasion. A little small increase for the awakening, but I'm sure it. I mean, it does add up for sure. With the evasion and having them do less damage. So that's pretty. I'd say that's okay slash mid for the awakening on that one. But really good for the provoke. Next skill we have is Absolute Pin. And we have another skill that inflicts dark, but this is only on a single enemy with the highest attack for 10 seconds. Further lowers their attack by 10% for 10 seconds, which is pretty good. No damage attachment on this one, so, but it is a tank, so you're being more supportive. You're in that supportive role, so that's good. And essentially, you are lowering their attack with the, and their they might have a couple chances of missing too, so that could actually be beneficial in arena, I'm sure, and maybe some bosses that hit really hard if you're able to get them to miss. Because essentially, when you're inflicting, I mean, Annerose might have some evasion already put in, but if she's inflicting dark on the enemies, it gives the chance for the boss to miss and to keep your other units protected as well. So no complaints there, really, on the Absolute Pin. It's just feeding into this dark evasion provoke type thing that's going on here. The special ability, now these are always usually good, or sometimes it's the ace in the hole. So let's check it out. Dedicated sword here. Each time evading attack. Yep, I knew it. Something like that. Cooldown is 3 seconds, so this can be stacked fairly quickly here. So it raises the attack of all allies by 15% for 30 seconds. That's half a wave. That is huge. Further raises defense by 15% for 30 seconds. And you're also recovering your own HP. You're damn near healing yourself every 6 seconds if you're evading attacks. So that's like a standard heal on yourself every time you're evading. So that right off the bat is a very OP skill if you're able to pull off this evasion. And if you have any other units that are boosting evasion for others, this is going to be huge. Or casting dark. If you have other units that can do dark, that would be huge as well. When this is awakened, there's no bump ups, but it does inflict 25% damage on a single enemy, and honestly, that is garbage. That is the worst thing I've ever seen for an awakening. That little addition does damn near little to nothing, so this is the last thing you'd want to see on the roadmap, and hopefully it's not right away. Essentially, these two are always going to be the same for standard units. Only changes with Shadow Festival. Now let's see if the Link gear can add some more to this kit here. And we have something right off the bat. So at the start of the wave, raises your own evasion by 8%, multiplied by the number of yellow elementals in your party. So if you times that by 5, 8 times 5, 40. That's 40% evasion right off the right at the start of the wave. You're having 40% evasion right off the bat, which is very, very good. And then she can also do a 20% evasion for one of her skills. That's 60% right there. Now let's backtrack and take the skill away. We're left with 40% just for this SS gear alone. And then we also further raise evasion by 5%, multiplied by the numbers of humans in your party. Now if you're running full yellow, full human, which I feel like that could be a little bit tricky, then you're looking at a 65, because 5 times 5, 25. You're looking at a 65% percentage for evasion. She's going to be evading, and she's going to be provoking the enemies very well. Probably take a few hits here and there, but that has nothing to do, like, it doesn't matter if she's taking a few hits, because she is healing herself every time for 3 seconds on the cooldown when she does get hit. So that makes up for everything. This is right off the bat, this is looking like a very survivable a tank that can actually help the team out pretty damn good with this dedicated sword ability, because, I mean, raising the attack, like, essentially, for 30 seconds, you could probably get this in maybe up to, like, maybe 8 times, so, I mean, figure that up, you know, like, I mean, just having this go off twice within 6 seconds, if you're able to evade 3 seconds within the 3 seconds, that's 30% attack and 30% defense on all allies. That is crazy. The fact that a tank could do that is absolutely insane. I kid you not. Like, it's starting to look like probably one of the best tanks that I'm seeing by far for yellow. Or I wouldn't say by far. There could be some other yellow tanks that are event or SF that I'm not including in this for sure. So right off the bat, off the regular character pool, honestly, I think it does beat out some events as well, because that in itself is crazy stupid with how much it can go off. I don't know if that's going to be changed or whatever, but that seems really OP for that type of an ability there. Because at 3 seconds, so within 9 seconds, it could be 10 seconds of the wave. You can have 45% attack on all allies and 45% defense in less than 10 seconds. And then multiply that by 2, so the first 30 within the first 30 seconds of the wave, probably, you're looking at like close to 100%. Like 45, that'd be like, yeah, 90% attack, 90% defense within the first 30 seconds. And that is crazy. 90%. And then you're also provoking them, which you're going to evade them more, and then you're lowering their attack. It's just all around pretty good. You are buffing the team by an insane value. So... let's just take a look at one thing before we leave off this character. We have Bring It On as the first awakening skill, and I said this one was mid, so it's not bad for an A1 here. Absolute Pin changes actually quite a bit. I don't think we actually put the Awakened on that one. I don't think I checked it, but either way, yeah, we did not check it, but either way, this is what it does. Dark on the highest attack for 10 seconds, then lowers the attack by 10% for 10 seconds. Further lowers the SP boost rate by 18% for 10 seconds. And here's the thing with the further lowers the SP boost rate by 18% for 10 seconds. That is absolutely good. That is tremendously good on bosses, because if you're lowering their SP, they're not going to be throwing out that hidden technique that could slaughter your group as easily. So, to be honest, this tank is looking very, very well, or very, very good. The Awakened Hidden Technique is tucked away at A3 here, and that one essentially does the 3 more seconds on Dark, 20 more seconds for damage inflicted for all allies, which is absolutely nuts, and then recovers SP as well. I mean, this character is absolutely a freaking beast when it comes to a tank, and it just got released right after Iris putting... just wow. And then Dedicated Sword is that ability that I said that was pretty... It's honestly garbage, so I'm glad it's tucked away at A5. Maybe there's some changing in the wording that they meant to do. Maybe they meant to raise the values as well, but... I mean, some people may fight on it because, like, yeah, within 10 seconds or something like that, you could probably achieve, I don't know, 75% damage. That damage is so little, and the fact that it changes so little... it really doesn't bother me. If there was like a 5% increase on like maybe the defense and the attack, I might change my mind with that being on the awakening or being better than what it is when it's awakened, because there's little to no change. It's only 25% damage, so that really does not matter to me. And that is a hill I will die on. So, the next question is... for usually event videos and stuff, I ask, should you pull? But it's more or less a question of should you get. Should you pull? Never. Never on these type of banners. Should you get this down the line? That's a different question. And what I have to say to that is, if you've already watched my video on Iris, with her being a yellow tank as well, you can see her at the bottom. I don't have her yet. These are pretty much the two you'd be comparing, because... I'd say they would probably beat out the other 2 tanks that are present for yellow. As well as John Smith, because John Smith has this parry ability as well, which is very reminiscent of what Iris can do. And he can lower the SP boost rate, which is really good that John Smith can do. Well, the main thing that John Smith can do that's really good is lower the SP boost rate. One of them's on a random enemy, but if it's just a boss, then that's really good. And then SP boost rate down on all enemies as well. Plus the fact that he can pretty much parry by using his steel threads mechanic, which I think is pretty good. Honestly, John Smith isn't bad as a tank. Rose still has a lot of potential in arena with the stun. The stun is still pretty good. I think it's still... back then it was a really great unit, but I could probably say now that... I mean... it's still a good unit, regardless. It's a very good start-out unit for beginners as well. You can keep Rose Oriana for quite a while. But down the line, if we're just comparing all the yellow tanks right here, I'd say that if you're looking for like a defensive yellow tank and your party keeps dying and you just need that protection, honestly, this Annerose, with how she's able to, if you can get her to evade pretty well, which means you have to have the gear. If you do not have the gear with this Annerose, you might as well just not use her, because you're missing out on pretty much 40% of evasion right there, and you'd have to rely on the Bring It On, which is only 20% evasion for 10 seconds when this skill goes off. So, or if they miss with the dark, so you really don't have much to go off of. It's literally the linked gear that's carrying this whole operation, with the linked gear synergy with the dedicated sword, and then the provoke on top of that, more evasion, and then dark. They all synergize pretty damn well together. The fact that you could probably get 30% defense for 30 seconds, half a wave within like 10 seconds of a match, is absolutely crazy if you're able to dodge, so that can't really be beat. On top of that, you're healing yourself often, and if you have a healer in your party, they're healing your tank probably often, or they're using their heals on others, which would probably be better. It's absolutely insane, I gotta say. So Annerose is pretty much like the jack of all trades, is what I'm seeing between all these tanks. Iris, that just came out, might seem like a suitable option as well, and what she does is the fact that she's able to throw down a lot of shields, but not from this hidden technique. We don't, if we're just solely basing it off PvP, she is able to recover health probably at like a similar rate to Annerose, but the thing is Annerose has to evade, and then all it takes for Iris is a parry, and a parry is guaranteed unless you get stunned or something like that, as far as my knowledge goes. And every time you parry, you're healing, so that's really good when it comes to Iris and being able to parry and stuff. She's also able to provoke more often than Annerose is, but 15-second provoke is no joke, honestly. So it's kind of hard to beat as well. Let's see, because like I know this gear was pretty good as well, so I'm just doing a little bit of comparing, because every 10 seconds you're getting shield up. You know, that was like the big thing for Iris, is the fact that you keep getting shields over and over and over again, and then you raise the damage inflicted by 10% if it's human, but that's not really that much compared to what Annerose can do. The constant provoking is nice for Iris, and the fact that she could parry. But she only has this Bushin Vitalize, which is better if you have 5 times the parry rather than 3, and then you get more heals out of it. On top of that, the shields are very, very nice too, if you can get that to go off, but she doesn't have anything to shield herself unless she does the ultimate technique, or of course the link gear, start of the wave, shield, 150% shield on all allies every 10 seconds, and a constant shield like that is annoying as hell. And especially if you have other units to put up shields as well, but like honestly, from what I'm seeing, Annerose is definitely the better pick because of the fact that she's able to inflict dark, which is also going to make people miss, and a lot of people don't really have units that are going to play into accuracy or getting rid of dark, so I could see her taking a huge advantage in the PvP scene right now, especially since we have like Claire with her SS Plus magic gear being able to evade like crazy, and that being a huge problem. And the fact that she could probably do the same, evade like crazy, and also buff the team by a shit ton and heal herself on top of that, makes it even worse. So she is going to be a threat she's going to be a threat. It's going to be good for bosses. It's going to be good for PvP. I could just see it right now. That's all I have to tell you on this unit. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling on. This is probably going to be probably the best yellow tank that I've seen so far, and the fact that she's on the standard banner is great, but also sucky for me because I want to use Iris instead of Annerose. But oh well, you know, just sometimes you gotta go with the better picks. Vigo, signing off.